I'm Pat Matthews, and this is Business World News. Every year, millions of Americans donate their used clothing and household items to charities. These items are stuffed in bags and packed in boxes. Typically, they're dropped off at a charity drop site, and a receipt is given to the donor to be filled out with the value of the items being donated. This receipt is then used as proof of the donor's tax-deductible donation for their tax return. However, it is the donor's responsibility to assign the fair market value to their donation. But fear of an IRS audit and lack of knowledge cause many taxpayers to undervalue their donations, missing out on valuable tax deductions, and in some cases, discouraging charitable donations altogether. So how is someone supposed to know the fair market value they can claim for their used items? And more importantly, how can they be sure the IRS will accept the value? There is an answer to these questions, and that's the subject of this edition of Business World News, as we take a close look at a guaranteed tax resource guide called Money for Your Used Clothing. Money for Your Used Clothing follows IRS guidelines for assigning fair market value to items donated to charity. It's the creation of noted CPA William R. Lewis, who has been a practicing certified public accountant for over 30 years and has helped thousands of taxpayers pay considerably less in income taxes through his advanced tax planning strategies. And Connie Edmond, who has 15 years of experience as a lead tax auditor for the Nebraska Department of Revenue. She has traveled all across the United States analyzing accounting systems and auditing individuals and businesses, including several Fortune 500 companies. They have combined their experience to create a convenient and easy way to claim fair market values for used items donated to charity, and have the proper documentation to maximize taxpayers' refunds while lowering taxpayers' liability, all while encouraging charitable donations.
Well, I've been preparing individual income tax returns for over 30 years, and the one area on the tax return that's been very confusing for the taxpayer is how do you place a fair market value on items that you donate to charity? The IRS publications state that the taxpayer can claim the fair market value of what like items would sell for in thrift and consignment shops. But most people don't go to the trouble of sorting through the items in the consignment shop to come up with the values. So I realized in working with my tax clients over the years that they would maybe donate 8 bags of clothing, come to me with their signed dated receipt from the charity and say, "Bill, what is my donation worth?" Most of them would guess at a value less than $500 in order to avoid having to fill out Form 8283. Well, over the years, I realized that my tax clients were probably underestimating the value of their donations to charity, so I started doing the research to find a way, through Money for Your Used Clothing, to provide the taxpayer with the proper documentation and the proper certified fair market values that the clients could use in accordance with the new IRS guidelines.
Millions of Americans don't know that they can donate or deduct those items that they commonly donate to charity. They don't have a method or a measure to do it, and they fear that the IRS will come back and audit their tax returns if they do claim. Our book educates and guides the taxpayers to make sure that they're in compliance with IRS guidelines. We give them 6 easy steps to follow, and as long as they follow those steps, they'll always be in compliance with the IRS guidelines.
We went to a local charity drop-off site to see if people are being fair to themselves and getting maximum value for their generous donations.
I'd like to know what you think your stuff is worth there.
I don't know. Let's see. This is a nice shirt, probably about $3. And this dress, it's really good condition, actually. I'd probably give it like $8.
$17.
Wow. Okay, $17. That's pretty cool.
And there we have the man's shirt that you estimated at $3, and it's
$7.
We spoke to noted attorney Donald H. Bowman about the book's benefits.
My particular specialties in the law center around business planning with business clients. I do a lot of personal estate planning along with the business planning, and of course a lot of that in both areas center on tax issues. We found that the booklet Money for Your Used Clothing has been of great benefit to them in the preparing of their personal income tax returns, because it gives them a comfort level that when they take a deduction for used clothing or other personal items that are in that book, they're going to be able to rely on that. They know their certified values, they've followed the IRS regulations, and they know that there won't be questions on them.
This book offers real value to taxpayers who want to increase their tax refunds or lower their tax liabilities. It's the only publication on the market that has certified values for used clothing and household goods in compliance with IRS guidelines. The company guarantees using money for your used clothing will save you at least $250 on your income taxes through increased itemized deductions, or they will refund the cost of the book.
Our book benefits charities because it really encourages millions of Americans to donate items that they otherwise would have just put on a garage sale and just had people come by and nickel and dime them. So our book benefits the giver because they're giving it to charity while they're receiving increased tax refunds for doing so.
To learn more about money for your used clothing, go to www.mfyuc.com or call 1-866-417-7678.